Hello and welcome back. So let's design our posts system to look a little bit better. So it seems wait a minute, that kind of disappeared. If I go to add, wait a minute, why does it add those numbers at the end? Okay, so if I come to add, when I'm adding posts, it's no longer on the posts section there, and I still want it to show posts section. So what have I missed here? Page title. Wait a minute, let's go back to the admin controller. How were we doing this originally? Okay, so page title. Oh, I see. So the page title here is the culprit. Yes. New post. How come I can't see this page title? It's being hidden by this thing here, I guess. Anyway. Okay, so the page title changed from posts, and that's why it's not actually showing on the side. Anyway, we'll fix that, no problem, sooner or later. But for now, let's design a better looking input box here. So to start with, let me go to addPost.blade.php. Let me remove this for a second. I just want to see if the title is there, and actually it is. So for some reason, the thing is going way overboard. Okay, no problem. What I will do is here, let me add a div. Okay, something I can control to move the whole thing up or down. So let me squeeze these over here. Okay, so here I'm going to add a few classes. Container, fluid, so that it's highly responsive. Okay, there we go. But let me add some styles here for a second. Wait a minute. What does py do? Let's say I say 6 here. Let's see if that changes something. No, it doesn't. Okay, let's add a margin top. Margin top, 10 pixels. Let's try 30 pixels, just so we see a dramatic change, if any. Okay, so we are seeing a change there. Let me see if I can get that number to be bigger. No, I can't. Okay, so let's add 60 here for a second, and let's see where that takes us. So if I now refresh, okay, much better. I'll try and check later on to see and figure out why this is this has a margin that goes above this, and see if there's a way we can fix that. So let me try and add a break tag here as well, like this, and then try the style clear both to see if that can stabilize the content. Okay, there we go. I think that kind of worked. I think so. Okay, so above this, let's add. So that's the entire form. Let me move the form up here, like so. Move that down. Okay. Yes. Okay, that seems fine. Let's add an input, shall we? Input of type text. Let's add a class, and the class is form input, like so. And let's add a placeholder. And the placeholder is a title, and then let's add a break tag at the very end. Okay, there we go. It should be form control, not form input here. Okay, there we go. All right, so the whole thing should go inside another container. So let me copy this. Now, instead of doing this on the whole container, adding a container just for this, I think this was a mistake. Let me move the container up to encompass the form. And then, what is this one? Okay, that's the one here. So once the form is in here, and what about this div here? Where is this div? I am getting confused. Let me move that down. Form, div, okay, then the other div. Okay, so that was my bad. Let me move this div in here. Okay, so we have a container on the outside, a form, and then we have an input break tag, and then this this one here. So what I want to do is get the margin here that I used and put it just on this element itself. That way we are not wasting a whole container on it. Okay, that's much better. Now I can reduce the margin top to something more reasonable that I can see here. Doesn't seem to be reducing at all. Let's try 0. Okay, anyway, for as long as we have something there, I guess the break tag by itself is doing its job. So it seems, yeah, I guess so. Okay, so we have a title there. Now let me add a few columns here for the container here. So I'm just going to say column when the thing is large. Let's try LG. Because Bootstrap, for those that don't know about Bootstrap, Bootstrap has what do you call this, columns. It's a 12 column system, so you can put a column from 1 to 12. So if you put a number like this, let's say here I say 12 like that, I'm telling it to cover, for this container to cover 12 columns, which is all of the columns there. Okay, but if I put maybe 2 or 4 like that, I'm telling it to cover only four of them. So it's going to reduce the whole thing and shrink it like this. So it's covering 4 of the columns here. And then this large here is the screen size. So I'm telling it when the screen size is large, use only 4 columns. So now let's try and find the number of columns that looks good. So let's try 8 like so. Let me go back here. Okay, maybe not 8, maybe 10. Let's see here. Okay, I think that's acceptable. And then there's add margin right and margin left to be auto, so that maybe the thing can go in the center. Maybe that can happen. I have no idea if that's possible. Let's just try margin right auto, and then margin left auto. Let's see if that works. No, it doesn't. Like I said, I still suck at Bootstrap, but I can still do CSS, right? So let's just say margin auto. Maybe the reason why the margin isn't working is because I don't have a fixed width, I guess. So that's probably why. So I'll just leave it at that. And then from here, if you're using Firefox, for example, you can check out how it looks like. Even most browsers have this. So I can go to more tools here and go to responsive design view, and then I can get to see how it responds during the responsive event here. So it seems to be doing just fine. We'll fix a few of these things, like the name there is interfering. Okay. All right, everything else seems okay. So instead of 10, let's put 12. I think it just looks better with 12 of these. Okay, like that. No problem. So a little bit of a tangent there. Apologies, but let's continue. So what things do we need for our posts? So let's go to the posts table to look at that. So we have a title, we have a category ID, we have an image as well, and we have the actual content. So we already have the input for content and we have one for the title. So what we want is for these two, category ID and image. So for the image, it's straightforward. We just want a input of type file, and then we want we don't need a placeholder for this at all. Let's give it a name of file because we need that name, and let's give this one a name of title because we do need that. And then one more now, which is the selector for the categories. So we need to be able to select the categories here. So I'm just going to say select, and in there I will put an option, and that option will contain let's put dash dash and put select a category, like dash dash, like that. Okay, great. Let's give it a name as well. The name is category underscore ID. Alrighty then. And then let's put, oh, we do have a break tag already, so great. So back here again, and let's refresh. Okay, so we have two more items: title, browse, select to select a category, and maybe we need to put a title there so that it knows what we are talking about. Now, usually what I do when I have Bootstrap running here, I'll say Bootstrap, and I'll go to forms. Oopsie. Is this the correct place? Yes, it is the correct place. So let's go to one of these examples, and then we can see what looks good. Like, for example, the way it is here: email, name, password. This could be good. So I can just go and choose what looks good on one of these. So enter email. Now I want one that I can put labels on. So that way, at least, yeah, like this one right here. So there's a form here, and then there's a div form group row, and then label. Okay, so from here to there represents one of these items. So let me just copy that. Now, if you're unable to browse for that, that's okay. You can easily just copy the text that is here. So I'm going to move that a bit inward, like so. Oops, what have I done? Okay, we are back. All right, so all I need to do is change the text for that. But if I refresh, I'll get to see it say email, and then there's an email over there, which is cool. So instead of email, this is the label I was looking for. So form label. So I'm just going to get that. Wait a minute. Okay, so what I would do is remove this input and replace with the file. So cut that file, put it here. I don't need the break tag anymore. So now we are inside a form group, and instead of email, we have featured image, like that. Okay, so featured image, name, file, everything looks good. Label 4, static email. I should have had this ID here. So ID file. Let me just put file, and here for file, like that. Okay, great. That should work. Refresh the page, and there we go. Featured image, that one. And then here, category. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Let me put enter there, duplicate this. And then just like the other one, I will cut out the select part here. Let me do this. And then replace the input with that part. I will paste it here. Move that here. So I will need an ID here as well. So the ID of this will be category underscore ID. And yes, that will be the name. So copy that ID, paste it here for that. Okay, instead of featured image is category, maybe post category, like so. And I still need this to have, let me add a class of form input, form control, not form input. Okay, so refresh, very good. So we have post category, select a category, featured image, we can click here to browse the featured image, very good. And then finally here we need this for the, what do you call this, the post itself. So what happens when I add a label here? I am not sure at all. Let me add this label, and the ID is summer note, that's good. So I'll copy that, the label is for summer note, and post content. Okay, so let's try and see how that will appear. Yeah, so it went the other side, which is not exactly what I was looking for. Form label. Let me remove this. Let's see what will happen. Still on this side, isn't it? Let me try and put an H5 instead and just say post content, and then at the end I will put a break tag because I want these guys on separate lines. Refresh. Okay, so post content there and then down here. Very good. I don't need the break tag, it seems. And let me change this to H3 instead, so the text is bigger. Refresh. Okay, so post content, there we go. Maybe a little bit too big. Let's try 4. Okay, great. Alrighty then. So the title, the featured image. Let's do the same for the title here as well. So I'm going to duplicate this and then move the title itself, the title input, into there. And then for this will be title, and put an ID of title here as well. Title. Alrighty then. I think that's looking great. Instead of featured image, this will be post title. Post title. Like this. Pretty cool. Okay, so post title in there. Let's even add the autofocus here. Auto focus like so. Okay, good. So that once we load, it's already focused on that. Okay, pretty good. I want to increase the height of this summer note. Where is this? Right here. So I don't know if that's gonna work, but let's add a style and let's say height. Instead of giving a fixed height, I'm just going to say minimum height, which is mean height. I'll say 400 pixels. Let's see if it will bite. Doesn't seem like it will bite because it seems it's determined by this right here, which can move up and down. Anyway, I will investigate and see how I can stretch this because I'm not familiar with the styling used by Summernote here. Also, let me try and remove the break tag here and see if things will be better. Refresh. Yeah, seems better, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. So there we go. Let me tighten things up a little bit. All right, so we have a complete form here. The only thing is we need to add a method of post, and also we need to change the enc type to multi-part / form - data, like this. Okay, this is to ensure that we are able to send files through the posting system. All right, so we have our form. All we need now is to be able to post a post. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.